thing on?
It's on.
I guess it is.
It is. It's a 3, 2, 1.
But it still says it's starting.
Oh, it does. It does say that it's starting. Oh,
Now it
look at
says
there we
we're
go.
on.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
I'm Shaman,
I'm Yolanda.
and we're here from Harper Therapy.
We're the co-founders of Harper Therapy.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And we're talking about intensive therapy today, specifically
We are.
individual intensive therapy, right?
Yeah, and you know what? We're talking about burnout.
Right.
Are you familiar with burnout?
Yeah, I think everybody is
Mhm.
that's lived over the last
The last-
year and a half.
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. New variant on its way.
Right.
Yes, yes. And so, what we wanted to talk about today, you know, we talk a lot about kind of the different ways that trauma can show up, or the effects of trauma can show up in our lives.
Mhm.
And I think this is an important one to talk about at this point when so many of us are feeling burned out.
Right. Right. I mean, we're seeing so many people like in the workforce just done.
Right.
You know, so many people just everyday life just like worn down.
Right.
You know, I was very grateful here at Harper Therapy that we had the Thanksgiving break because everybody around here was kind of
Yeah,
crispy,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And so there is that burnout that can be helped with those things, right?
Right.
The things that we check off the list, the self-care, the time off,
Right.
The rest, and all of that kind of thing.
Right.
And then there is a different level of burnout that comes from our previous experiences of trauma.
Right.
Because a lot of us go through life experiences that teach us to just like dig in and work harder.
Right. That ever vigilance, that keep
The hypervigilance,
Right.
the like, you know, just kind of like on the scale from 0 to 10, 0 being not a problem, I can handle it, and 10
Right.
being I can't handle it. Like
Right.
those people who've lived through hard things in their life will never give you a 10. It's just like
Right.
I can handle anything because I
Right.
have, right?
Right.
And so those of us who lived through those type of experiences are like, this past year, maybe a 5 or 6,
Right.
right? And really, it's like
A 9.
10 plus, right? We've learned to grit our teeth. We've learned to just press in harder, and that takes a toll.
It certainly does, and I think we see it coming out sideways everywhere around us.
Right.
And then you add the stress of the holidays and all that stuff to it. You know, it's just, it's a busy time and
Yeah.
it's crazy, and it's people are burnt crispy.
Yeah. So the way that the intensive that we offer here for individuals can help in these situations. You know how in life sometimes you create the thing that you wish that you had.
Right. Right. This is definitely that thing.
That's why I love the intensive so much, is because it's been created thoughtfully from a place of like, in my journey, what would have benefited me.
What would have been the best thing for you?
Right. And so the intensive is 2 days focused on really going in deep to where these patterns, where these habits, where these ways of like managing and dealing with the world and interacting with the world and people, where those habits started.
Right. I mean, you kind of look at it and you kind of think, well, it's just 2 days. But it's like, it's a lot of therapy. It's very intensive. I mean, it's why we call it an intensive.
We call it an intensive for a reason.
But it's like the equivalent of weeks of therapy.
It is. It's the equivalent of several weeks of therapy. And we can go big and deep in this format because we are just the two of us together, the intensive participant and myself. We're going deep in a really deep therapy, accelerated resolution therapy, a culmination of ART, which really helps the brain to get to the root of problems, and all of the other modalities that, you know, I'm trained in. And it really has come from doing combat veteran retreats and seeing the amazing progress that participants have been able to make in just that brief setting and period of time. So that's kind of the format of these 2 days intensives. It's 2 days deep work, big change. And at the end of that 2 days, not only have we gotten to the root of things, we also are practicing a new way of showing up in the world. And we can do that within this period of time too, so that these patterns start to change and the
Right.
ways of behaving start to change.
Right.
And what we hear time and time again when we ask for feedback from intensive participants is that they're more at peace.
Right.
And they're able to sleep better, and their family members and loved ones and friends are saying, wow,
right,
things are really different.
What did you do?
What did you do? Things are really different. In fact,
Right.
a lot of times partners will end up coming to
Right.
therapy after
Absolutely
after
right.
an intensive.
They're like, I want what
whatever it was that happened, we need to, and so those are some of the benefits that happen
right.
when we spend this deep dive, these 2 days together. And here's the thing, more and more what we're seeing too is people waiting and waiting and waiting.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it is like the wheels fall off.
Right. It's dire. Absolutely dire.
The wheels fall off, and then we're making referrals for inpatient treatment. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
But just know that this kind of burnout is not going to be changed or fixed with just an extra night's sleep,
right.
or getting your nails done, or a massage, or that fancy vacation. Like, it's going to take this deep work of getting at the root of the issues that cause us to show up in these ways.
Absolutely. And part of the process is it's a 2 days intensive, and then there's a follow-up period afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's a couple hours, and they can do it either
Yeah.
over a couple different sessions or 2 hours at once, or however that works.
Yeah.
But
So we have the
it's-
2-day intensive where we do that deep work and we practice new ways. And then the follow-up that we do within a month of the intensive, it just allows us to fine-tune, tweak,
right.
anything else that needs to be fine-tuned or tweaked.
Right.
And just kind of embed, that new way of doing things.
And I mean, we're big believers in this format. Like, if you want to see Yolanda, this is the way Yolanda sees clients.
Yeah.
We
just
feel
because
like
it's so powerful.
right. We feel like it's very powerful. Yolanda dedicates a lot of time to it,
and I love it. I love seeing the
it's
transformation.
really cool work, man. To see something like that over like just a couple of days,
Yeah.
like it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
So if you would like to find out how an intensive might help you with your current state of exhaustion and burnout and being depleted, and it's just kind of like those parts of you are super weary and just exhausted, but then there's also that other part of you that handles things by working harder and wanting to push through things. If that resonates with you, then give us a call and schedule a free consultation so that we can talk about how an intensive might be beneficial for you. And if it's not, then we'll let you know that too. If there are other ways to help you, then we will, kind of go through the different ways that we can help. So
absolutely.
813-434-3639. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys.